I'm now live. Did I do this right? Okay, great. I think I did this right. There we go. Okay, people are joining. I didn't mess it up. What's up, guys? I'm just waiting on Yvette. She's going to be joining us in just a second. How's everybody's day going? Huh? I promise I've moved from this spot, too, if anyone's watching the video earlier. I definitely got up. I haven't just, sat here waiting or anything. That'd be weird. Yeah, you did. Yeah, okay, maybe I did. Whatever, let's not judge. Trey, what's up, buddy? What's up? How's everyone's morning going, huh? I mean, I guess it's afternoon now. Feels like morning, jeez. Hello. Oh yeah, so while we're doing this, we're gonna submit questions and stuff like that. I've got a few questions of my own for Yvette. I know they have like the Q&A thing, guys, because I'm like still figuring social media out. So I'm going to try to figure the Q&A thing out too while we do this. Let's see, is it right here? Oh, wow, perfect. Okay, I figured it out. Cool. She's going to be joining us in just a second. But yeah, I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you. This is so cool. I love chatting with you guys. This is so much fun. I know. Rest in peace, man. Hey, Henry went out pretty sweet though, right? I mean, poor guy. If I'm dead, you're done, no cap? Oh, come on, you're gonna miss out on so many great things that's coming though. You love the single? That's amazing. Thank you so much. You know what? I kind of love the single too, I'm not gonna lie. Ireland? I want to go to Ireland so bad. I've never been. It's a little late to go to the country right now. I gotta travel more though. Yeah, so we're just waiting on Yvette. She should be here pretty soon. So you guys can just hang out with me. I hope that doesn't bum you out. Let's see. Oh, man, we're getting crazy questions coming in right now. Goodness gracious, these are awesome. Wow, guys, great questions. Keep sending them in. Just keep throwing them in. I love it. What would you do if you chew on my heart? You guys heard that new song? It's so good. I love James Bay. Who loves James Bay? Anybody? Anybody love James Bay? Hi. Gonna pretend to be a telepath today? I pretend to be a telepath every day. I basically just put this shirt on and run around my house trying to pick things up. It's kind of embarrassing. This stays between us though, okay? Yeah, Boba, right? Boba's so cool, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, I guess before we get to Yvette, also, after this is all done today, if you guys still want to know more about the show and more about Henry, I did this YouTube interview with this guy named Boba Talks. He's a sweetheart. And, yeah, so after this, if you guys want to check that out too, you always can. Let's see. Let's see where this gal is. Bum, bum, bum. Love your shirt. Is it a tease for your future suit? I wish. No, this is my suit. This is my super suit. You know. You cried. Yeah. How many? We all cried, didn't we? Your hair, as Henry, looks weird on you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, I think we got her. Let's go. Waiting for that. Here we go. Hi! There we go. Yes.
You're alive.
I'm alive. What's up, love? This is exciting. I've got so many questions here. I figured, so I just hit this little question mark thing, right? And then we can just I just select one and we just go, right?
Yeah, I think so. This is so exciting. How's the live takeover been going? Have you done a few of these already?
You're my first one. I haven't done any yet. Let's see. Ooh. You know what? Oh, here we go. Are you a wildcat dating? No.
No, we're not.
Oh my gosh.
I have a beautiful girlfriend who's my friend, and she's my friend, and we love each other.
We got the best friendship in the world. telling you
Yeah.
guys.
We're all
Let's.
super close.
How did you? Oh, here we go. Let's see. Do 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 do. Can you get questions on your thing too?
Yeah, I actually wrote down some of my I wrote down like 3 of my favorite ones.
Let's do that. Let's do that. That'll be easier because I've got like 70 right now. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like an interesting one for me. It said, do you think Henry died thinking Yolanda hated him? That's a
Ooh.
good one.
What do you?
Because do you remember in the tunnels, I was like, I'm not gonna leave you alone with him. No, I'm going with you. I was still like so mad at you. So
No. That's a great. Like, how? What do you think?
I mean,
It's tough, huh?
it's so tough because I
Yeah.
think like what would have happened if that didn't happen and we made it out of the tunnels, whatever, and we went back to school the next day. I feel like I would still be like, I'm still mad at you. But with something
Right.
so tragic like that, I feel like there's a lot of regret, like, oh, why couldn't we have made up sooner? And
Hmm.
it's just like the grass is always greener.
Well, and there's also an argument to be had that like half the reason it was so heartbreaking for you is that we didn't get to have that closure. I mean, besides the apology, it's like we didn't get to have the full closure, right? Like the reason I think it impacts you so much is because you lose them in that moment. Because like I've gotten that question before, and some people were like, back would Henry get back with Yolanda after? And I was like, personally, I think that's shocking. I don't think. I mean, I think they could make a compromise, but getting back together seems like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think if there was some development maybe down the line, like I see how much you're helping and I realize it wasn't you who sent the photo and
Right.
we never got to the bottom of
We
that
never. No, we
either.
never got to that. Which I honestly, I kind of love because what one of my favorite parts about that moment is like he's basically apologizing without asking for your forgiveness. He's basically saying like, look, you don't have to forgive me. I just want you to know how
Yeah.
sorry. Right? Like that's the whole thing. It's like he. So wow, that was a great question.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is way better than my questions. That was so good.
I looked at a few from Twitter and Instagram, so
Yeah, let's just keep running through them. I mean, that was a solid start. Oh my gosh.
there's another one. Do you think Henry and Yolanda ever realized it was Cindy that leaked the photo? No, and I think that's
Mm-mm.
intentional. I don't know why yet, but I think
Yeah.
if we're gonna know why.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that could be a cool thing that comes around in second season, maybe. You know what I mean? Yeah, because we don't know, and still and that's a big question I get from the fans all the time. Was like, did Henry know? Did Henry send it? You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
what's really interesting is for a long time, for specifically just for the character kind of figuring it out, I just assumed he did send it, even though like just because it helped, you know. Because if he didn't, it's I mean, either way, it's horrible. Either way, he went along.
Regardless, you were still showing your friends, bro. That was
Right. Well,
personal.
and I guess that's why I've always felt like, I've always felt it would be a little odd for them to get back together immediately after that because there are a lot of things he still decided to do, whether that was him or not, right? And that's the whole point of the episode is that everyone's capable of growth, and I think that's an amazing message, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one thing I was like, well, you can't just go from like slut shaming to immediately like, hey, we're good to go again. You know what I mean?
That's so
Uh,
funny. That's actually really the reason why I didn't really date in high school. Like, I never had boyfriends in high school because my dad
Kiss and
warned
tell.
me when I was in middle school, like, boys will just do whatever they want to get what they need. So if they tell you that if you want to hear they love you, of course they're going to tell you they love you as long as you give them what they want because,
Yeah.
you're
Well,
young and you're having fun. Guys
no,
are
it's
exploring and they're,
it's
just
completely true.
having fun.
And I love how they handled that in episode 4 because it's totally true. And I mean, and whether that was Henry texting her or Cindy, that's still like such a great representation of how, unfortunately some people try to manipulate others into doing things like that. Which I mean, kudos to our show because we cover a lot of that stuff in a really grounded way. I feel like, not to pat herself on the back, but I think we do. Um, what's the next question?
Um, did Jake know he was going to die?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that would have been so, like, we would have all been bawling, crying if we didn't know that. Like, I'm so glad you informed
Well,
us too, because
I also think that's so unfair. You know what I mean? I think I know some buddies that have like done a project and then a few episodes in, it's like they're dying and no one told them. Like that
happens all the time.
happens all the time, and I think that's so messed up. Like I was so lucky Jeff like just told me immediately. I knew how I was going to. I knew who was going to do it. Like it was so nice. I didn't know how we were going to get there, obviously, but I knew that was like the end game.
I
Uh,
actually remember when we were all carpooling to
oh my gosh,
remember
yeah.
when Jeff did the screening for Back to the Future and then our camera tests?
Mm-hmm.
You called him in the car and you were like, "Hey, I just want to know when I'm gonna die because with moving situation, I want to know how long I should do the lease for and blah blah blah." You kind of put him on the spot,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But he,
you needed to know for shooting purposes.
yeah, you have to, man. It also like that was a great dude. I completely forgot about that.
That was
Oh,
so fun. We all carpooled. It was me, you, Mark, Meg,
yeah,
and
well,
Breck, right?
yeah, that was our first time like as a cast, like going out and having fun. You know what I mean? That was crazy. Um, you know what? I got a question. I wrote a few questions here I wanted to ask.
Oh.
Um, do you think Henry's death will have lasting effects on Yolanda?
I don't see how it couldn't
Right.
because I've never, as Yolanda, I've never seen someone die right in front of my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Someone,
pretty traumatic.
yeah, whether you hate him or not, there still was love there for
There
sure.
was for sure love there. My sister like texted me right away after. She was like, because I was crying and you looked up to you. We had that moment where you looked up at me and she texted me. She was like, "Oh my God, they still loved each
Uh,
other."
well,
I was like,
what was so interesting is we filmed that so many different times, right? So we had so many different options of that scene, but the one they chose, the I'm sorry they chose, is so heartbreaking. Like I didn't,
"I'm sorry."
because I think about when we did that, and there's a lot of different ways it was done, and when they chose that one, I was just like, oh my gosh, like that hit me so hard.
We
But yeah,
shot it so many times, and I think I only that teary one that I only did that one time.
you
The
got
other
that.
ones were kind of like,
I'm
"Oh
so
my
glad
God."
they did that too, because I remember that. Like it's so sick because I mean I'm sure the fans know trying to get a reaction with the mask on is one of the hardest things in the world. It's
That
like,
was the biggest challenge for me,
yeah, how could it not? You literally have
acting in a mask.
covering the top, like your eyebrows and everything. So how can you not? That was so sick that they got that. Oh, I, piggybacking onto that one, uh, because you just get crazy emotional in your scenes. It's awesome, especially in 4 when you're like breaking down and stuff. I wanted to ask you, without going too personal, what's your process for your emotional scenes? I think the fans would like to know, just like, is it kind of like, is it just like crying's like just easy, or is it just like, you know?
I kind of tap into so that scene specifically related to my own life in a lot of ways. I did have a relationship where I went through and it was very heartbreaking, and the guy, like broke my heart. I won't say which relationship, no names, but
Wow. Oh, that's interesting though. I actually don't think I knew that. So that was like straight up parallels of life right there.
parallels of life, and I just tap back into that feeling of that heartbreak, and yeah, it was really really easy to access.
Yeah,
Really easy to
it looks
access.
so natural. I mean, the scene with your parents, and then the scene where you're talking to Courtney for the first time, it was just like that's
And
so.
also it was really great that I had Brack as my scene partner because she's so giving in a scene even when she's not on camera. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's so important because she wasn't just sitting there like waiting for me to do it and be over with. Like she was actually reacting the whole time even when the camera wasn't on her, and that's so helpful. Like it helps me get there so much quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um but yeah, and it's also the team that you have around you. Like if I was so comfortable in my setting, I was so comfortable just shooting Stargirl, and I felt like everyone had my back, and it's not always that way. So the fact that I felt that way, it was just like dream process. I was able to get there emotionally because I had a very supportive team.
See, yeah, we're so
What
lucky.
about you? Weren't you exhausted like during
Yeah,
episode 10? You were just like,
yeah.
all that emotion you had to put in.
But you basically took the words out of my mouth. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. I mean, we had a lot of creative freedom and a lot of like like you said, it was very comfortable. And then also Chris is awesome. Like I feel like a broken record because I say this all the time, but like I can't say it enough how good Chris is. You know what I mean? So being able to react off him, especially during that scene and all our emotional stuff, it just kind of like, I mean, yeah, you basically took the words out of my mouth. We just as a cast in on a show of this caliber to have the comfortability and freedom we did for our scenes is it's paramount. We're so lucky for that. I have one more of my questions, and then I think we could do just a few more of the fans before
Sure.
we bounce off. Um, this is one, and this isn't necessarily about Henry. This is just in general. Do you think Yolanda could love again after something like Henry?
You know,
It's tough, right?
yeah, that is tough because it's really heavy. It's really heavy what she went through, but I think eventually maybe,
hmm
but I don't know. I don't know what the healing process is going to be for Yolanda, and I think it depends on that, on how the death affected her and how she's
Right.
coping with it. I think maybe you could never say never,
Never say
but
never. Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
would be really hard. It wouldn't be right away, that's for sure. I
Sure.
think
Yeah.
I
Well, I
would.
think 111 is going to be really cool because it's the first time we're going to see Yolanda after everything too. You know what I mean? Just like see where she's at and stuff.
That was a
Um,
long episode. I remember shooting it and I was so exhausted.
It was. No, well, it's funny because I just like, I don't know if the fans know this or not. When you're on the cast of a show, you get sent the scripts. Even once you've passed away, you just always get the scripts because you're on the email chain. So obviously, I keep reading them, and I recently reread them. And you're right. It is just like you think after 10, you're like, what are they gonna do? Like that was crazy, but it just keeps going. Like I totally forgot about like what happens. I reread it and I was just like,
You're like almost said something. You're like, I totally forgot what
God. Yeah.
happened.
yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. Um, but yeah, it's crazy. But I'm in the same boat with you. I feel like it could really go either way for her. You know, I mean, well, it's just like that's a tough situation because when you don't get a closure like that, you know, that's just it's like it's kind of hard to move on. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
if we can grab one more fan question before we bounce out of here. Ba, 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 ba,
Can I
ba.
ask you a question really quick?
Absolutely. Hit me.
So what do you think, well, I guess this kind of goes back to one of the questions we kind of answered, but like
Hmm.
if we had made it through the tunnel, I just wonder, I guess never mind. We kind of already answered that, but like I just wonder what our relationship would have been.
What Henry would have been?
If I would have
Yeah, no, I feel you. I'm kind of in the boat with you. I'm like, you know, it's really tough because I feel like had Henry escaped, like, and like blown his father back and, you know, his father like got hurt and they were able to get out of there, that's not the same Henry anymore. Like that guy that had to do that is like that's like the best version of Henry, right? So I think although it's the best version of him, I don't think I think he'd have too much guilt to ever get back with you. Personally, I feel like you guys would be really good friends, really, really good. Like I feel like it's one of those situations where I've talked about this before, but sometimes you're lucky enough to have exes where you don't have any bad blood. It's just really like I wish the best for you. Like I hope the
for
best for you,
sure.
stuff like that. I think it'd be like a situation like that.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
for sure. I'm just kidding.
yeah. I didn't even like truthfully. I didn't even really see Henry necessarily full on joining the team as much as being kind of like an ally that comes in and out. Like a guy that's like, Henry, we need your help. So he comes and helps them. Because, I mean, after that episode, if he would have kept living, he has so much to figure out. I mean, his mom was a hero. His uncle's a superhero. Like, that's so much. Like, he'd probably go, I'd like to think he'd go on a search for them or go on a search to be like, okay, where did my mom die? Like, who was my mom related to besides, you know, like, I feel like he would have gone on a whole, you know what I mean? He had so much going on in his mind. I
That
do
is
feel like
true.
he would have gotten complete closure with you, though. I think he would have completely, like, after that, I am sorry, he would have, like, sat down and just been like, look, sorry, I was misogynistic. I need to be better. Like, I think he would have had, like, a full circle, but
It's not you, it's me.
yeah. That's another world for another time, though.
Yeah, that is interesting though, how like your mom was a superhero and your dad is evil. So it makes you think like you could go either which way because you know that you came from good and you come from bad. So it's like your character could have had so many.
Well, there's also a lot of questions to be had about like my mom was still dating my dad and married my dad even after knowing he killed people and stuff. So that would be a big question. It's like, why did you stay with him after that? Even if you saw the good in him, why did you stay? You know, like that, like there's
Love
some,
conquers all.
I feel like, yeah, I know that's true. That's the whole point of his character in a lot of ways. But yeah, there's so many questions. I mean, I could go on forever. Um, but yeah, I guess. Oh man, yeah, I could go. Um, but look, I've run through all my questions. If you want to do one more fan question before we pop off,
Sure. I mean, I have some from Twitter here. Let me see.
yeah, let's do it. Let's do one more.
We'll do one more. I feel like we've answered a lot of these in my past life. Like there's a lot of crossover questions and just like, do you think Yolanda will grow hate off Junior? Do you think Yolanda will grow hate off of Henry Jr. and forgive him? I think that's a question if like.
Yeah, that's well. I think basically they're asking, do you think after Henry's death, Yolanda might go down a route you wouldn't see her going down?
I think it's definitely possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely. I think anything's possible. Like you were such a solid character in this story that once you saw episode 10, it was just like anything could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. I really feel like that last episode kind of like took any sort of preconceived notions you had of any of those characters and flipped them on its head. It's kind of like you don't know where any of them are going to go, really.
I have so many people texting me saying like, Henry's not dead. I know he's not dead. There's no way he could be dead. I'm like, well, you'll just have to wait and find out.
I know.
That's the word.
I'm under those rocks, y'all. Well, listen, love, thank you so much for joining me.
Obviously,
you're my girl. This is so much fun. I'm going to be talking to some more of the homies later. But yeah.
Sure.
Anyways,
Well, I had so much fun with you, darling.
Yes, yeah. Hey, it didn't black out or anything. We did good.
Finally.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I know.
last time we couldn't get it together at all.
Look, and I am such a noob, so I'm going to straight up ask you on this. When I end it, will it give me an opportunity to save it? I've never really done these type lives before.
Yeah, I accidentally just like closed the phone and then it just deleted, so be careful.
Okay, cool.
The first time, remember, you were my first one last time.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's full circle. Okay, cool.
Okay,
well,
good luck. I'll be watching.
All right, thanks, love. Bye.
See ya.